Hello! So today we're looking at another 10 horror movies that you've probably never seen before, so let's have a look. So apologies, there's been a little break in videos again. I had a little trip. I went to New Orleans and New York, and also over the festive period I've been really ill and I'm still a little bit bunged up. So yeah, apologies for that, but yeah, let's get back to it. If you're new to the channel though, my name's Stu and I like to recommend like hidden gems, movies, TV series, video games, things like that I think just need a little bit more love or they flew under the radar. I like to keep things fairly spoiler free, so there will be little clips of the trailers in this video, but I tend to cut out anything that I think is a potential spoiler. So yeah, let's have a look at 10 horror movies that you probably haven't seen before. So first up, from 2020, we have a movie called Becky, and this one stars Lulu Wilson, who's incredible in this, and she is Becky. She is a teenager who's a little bit troubled, a little bit angry, and she goes to a lake house with her father. It's kind of like a remote lake house. It's quite far from everything, which always spells trouble, let's face it. The lake house gets invaded by basically a group of convicts who are after a certain item, a key that should be in this lake house, and they basically start to terrorize the family. So Becky takes it into her own hands to fight them off, and what ensues is basically like a real bloodbath version of Home Alone. So if you like some really interesting kills, quite a cool concept, and you just like the fact that you're watching a sort of teenager get her own back on a group of adults, then yeah, this is totally for you. Also, I will say that there is a sequel to this movie called Wrath of Becky. It's just as good. She's obviously slightly older, and yeah, same Becky, same kind of scenario. She just fights back, and there's some incredible kills in the sequel as well, so go and check out both of those. They're really good. Next up, from 2022, we have Piggy, and this is a Spanish movie. It's about a girl called Sarah who is a plus size girl, and there is lots of sort of popular girls in her town who make fun of her. Now, she witnesses them getting captured by a sort of stranger in the town, so therefore she is kind of an accomplice, and she becomes someone that he thinks that he can trust, but she ends up trying to do the right thing and tried to save them. Now, I will say that this is kind of more of a thriller than a horror, but it's incredible. It's such a good ride, and the main character is like so lovable, and you feel so much empathy for her, especially because obviously she is being bullied for her weight, but she gets her own back and becomes a really incredible final girl in this movie. So I have to say, yeah, just go and find it, go and watch it. Piggy is amazing. Now we have a movie called Soul Survivors. This is from all the way back in 2001, and this one is kind of a strange movie. It has a really strange sort of pace and tone to it, in the fact that it almost feels like quite surreal in a lot of places, and you're trying to sort of figure out what's going on, but I quite like that about it. So it stars Casey Affleck, Wes Bentley, and Eliza Dushku, who we all know as Faith from Buffy, and in my eyes she can do no wrong, and I'm still a little bit upset that she's not acting anymore, but there we go. There is a girl called Cassie who is out with all of her friends in a car. She's in a fatal car crash. Now, it's fatal for them, but she is the sole survivor, and it turns out that because she is the sole survivor, she's actually kind of stuck between sort of dreams and reality of the sort of living and the dead. She can actually still see her friends sometimes, and sometimes enters the sort of world of the dead. I really like this movie. It's very early 2000s, and as soon as you start watching it, you'll get exactly what I mean, especially by like the music and the editing and the sort of style of it. But yeah, it's just good fun. If you have the DVD, I think there's quite a lot of sort of decent special features on it, especially like an alternate ending, things like that. But yeah, if you're a fan of that kind of genre, and obviously if you're a fan of Eliza Dushku, then go and check out Soul Survivors. I think it's really cool. So now we have a movie called May, and this is from 2002, and it stars Angela Bettis, who I've talked about before on this channel because she was Carrie in a remake of Carrie that was meant to be a sort of backdoor pilot for a TV series. She's great in this, and she was amazing in that as well. So May is a very awkward and strange veterinary assistant, and she falls in love with a guy who she thinks has a real connection with her, and they both kind of like weird things. But she sort of takes it too far and realizes that she has a bit of an obsession with perfection. She thinks that he's got like the perfect hands and that he was the perfect boyfriend because he has like perfect appendages. So she decides to take matters into her own hands and try and create the perfect human. She does this in a very Frankenstein kind of way, and that leads to obviously lots of craziness. This one also stars Anna Faris before she got crazy famous with the Scary Movie films, and Jeremy Sisto, who was in 6 Feet Under. Really great cast, and just a nice hidden gem. It's just a really weird little movie that kind of has like a B-movie vibe about it. It's very low budget, but yeah, very memorable and definitely worth a watch. So go and check out May. So now we have another movie with a name in it and a very similar vibe, and it's from 2012, and this is American Mary. Now, if you haven't seen this, it is a classic, and I believe it should be in everyone's horror collection. It's so good. It stars Catherine Isabelle, who we know as Ginger from the Ginger Snaps movies, some of my favourite werewolf movies in that trilogy. And she plays Mary, who is a medical student, and she's kind of hard on her luck. She needs to make a little bit more money to make ends meet. She gets into the underground world of body modifications and starts making some money by doing body mods on various people who just have these like crazy outlandish sort of looks that they want to create. It's very gory, as you can imagine, and just very stylish, very slick. It just feels very sort of sexy. I think even though Ginger Snaps kind of put Catherine Isabelle on the map, this is the movie that really solidifies her as like a horror icon. And Mary is such a great character. I wish that there were more movies of this, but yeah, go and check out American Mary. So good. Now we have a movie from 2004, and that is called Creep. So this is not the sort of Creep movies, the found footage ones that we've covered on this channel before. As you know, if you're a fan of the channel, I'm a massive fan of found footage movies. But no, this one is a British horror movie. It stars Franca Potente as a girl who is basically fallen asleep and is trapped in the London Underground, which is anyone's worst nightmare. I mean, being in the London Underground is a nightmare in itself, but being trapped there overnight, not ideal. She quickly discovers that she is not alone in the London Underground. There is something down there that is not only kidnapping people, but it is feeding as well. I absolutely love this movie. It's a true hidden gem, and I've had it on DVD for many years. I show it to everyone that I know. I just think it's really good, especially for the fact that it's one of those movies that has a very small cast. There's only a handful of people in it, and yet it just gives you that sort of sense of like you really are trapped. You feel very much like, you know, you're in it in the trenches with her, and you just wanted to survive and make it through the night. But yeah, very cool movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go check out Creep. Now we have a movie from 2022, and it's called Monstrous. This one stars Christina Ricci, who we've all watched grow up and must be a vampire because she just does not age, but she's incredible in everything. This one is a really good one because, again, it's a very small cast. She plays a sort of 1950s style sort of suburban housewife, but she is a mother who is quite traumatized and fleeing her ex-husband. She basically takes her son to like a remote house to build a new life there, and then they start to realize once they move in and start to settle into the new house that it kind of has some demons there that they have to face. Very cool concepts in this movie. I won't give too much away. I wouldn't say it's like incredibly scary or anything like that. It's just a really nice watch if you're a horror fan that likes something with a couple of twists in it. Yeah, it's just a really easy watch, and I quite enjoy that sometimes. So yeah, check out Monstrous. I really enjoyed it. So now we have a movie that I've been wanting to talk about for quite some time. It's from 2017. It's called Geralds Game. And this one, again, has quite a small cast in it, but is incredibly compelling. It's sort of an edge of your seat kind of thing. So this one is all about a couple who are trying to sort of spice up their marriage. They go to a remote cabin, which seems to be a running theme in horror movies, and they decide that at this sort of lake house they are going to spice things up by doing some role play and things like that for their sex life. And the husband handcuffs his wife to the bed so she can't move, and they start to sort of play around, and he ends up while she is very, very frightened, he ends up having a heart attack. He has a heart attack and dies right in front of her at the end of the bed, and she is now stuck in the middle of nowhere, not being able to contact anyone, and has to escape. And she also has to sort of deal with a lot of things that she's been through throughout her life while she's chained up. I've got to say, it's just, it is so compelling. It's such a good movie for letting you sort of think, well, how is she going to get out of this? What is she seeing? Is this all real? Is this all in her head? It does keep you guessing, and it does have a really, really strange ending as well. But I will say it's very unforgettable, and definitely one to check out. So yeah, Gerald's Game. It's on Netflix. Really, really good one. So now we have a movie from all the way back in 1987, and it's a movie that I grew up with, and it's one of my favourites. It is Monster Squad. So not many people really know about this as far as I'm aware, but for me it is a classic and everyone should check it out. It's basically like Goonies with Universal Monsters, but they can't say that they're Universal Monsters because of copyright infringement. So you have things like, you know, Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon, The Mummy, and they are all real, and they're all sort of terrorizing this town once Dracula wakes up. Now there is a group of kids that call themselves the Monster Squad, and that's because they're a big fan of like these Universal monsters, and they basically have to sort of step up and fight these creatures for real. It's so cheesy, it's so camp, it's so corny, and there is some amazing like one-liners and quotes and zingers that are in this movie as well that will stay with you forever. But it's just so much fun. Don't expect it to be like incredibly gory, but it's from the late 80s. It's got some really cool effects, and it's actually just a really fun ride. So if you love movies like The Goonies, you will love this. And it's very, very 80s. It's very of the time. But yeah, I can't sing its praises enough. It's so much fun. Go and check out Monster Squad. You'll love it. So before our final pick, I want to hear from you. So are there any hidden gems that you think I should be watching? Is there anything that you've seen lately which you just think needs a little more love? Pop it in the comments and let me know what you think. Also, as usual, if you watch any of these movies that you haven't seen before, make sure you come back and let me know what you think as well. I've had so many amazing recommendations from people in the comment sections on my channel, so thank you so much. This is mostly a list of movies that I love and that I wanted to share with you, but some of my other lists are purely made up of things that people have made me want to watch and have told me to watch. So yeah, keep those recommendations coming, but also make sure you check out some of my other videos which are slightly more sort of themed in some ways. So there's like sci-fi movies, we also have ones on 10 witchcraft movies, 10 alien horror movies, 12 vampire movies you've never seen before. So yeah, go and check those ones out, let me know what you think. So for our final pick, this is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I can't really believe that I haven't talked about it on the channel that much, but it's from the mind of Clive Barker, who we know brought us like Hellraiser and Candyman, which is my favorite horror movie of all time. This one is from 1990 and it's called Nightbreed. So Nightbreed is based on a Clive Barker book called Cabal, and it's about a character called Boone who is drawn to a place called Midian, and this is a mythical place where monsters live and nightmare creatures, but really they're just friendly. They're all really lovely. They all look incredible in this movie. The monster makeup itself is just incredible. It's iconic. But basically they're all down there hiding away from humanity because humanity are scared of them because of the way they look, which is very, very popular in things like X-Men and things like that. So this one is just really, really well done. Boone decides that he wants to become part of the Nightbreed and finds out that he has these sort of monster abilities that get unlocked. It also has David Cronenberg in this movie, acting, not a director. He's acting in this one. But I love this movie. I love the concept. The execution is incredible. And it was just a really, really good time for horror movies back then as well, in the sort of late 80s, early 90s, where there was just so much creativity going on. And I feel like Nightbreed could make a really, really good TV series. There is a really great Arrow special edition version of Nightbreed, which I've talked about on this channel before a little bit. But if you check that out, it has like an alternate version of it as well, like a director's cut. Both are really, really good. But yeah, I have to say, if you haven't seen Nightbreed yet, go and check it out. Honestly, it will blow your mind. All of the creatures look incredible. It's just a fantastic world and I love it so much. So that's it. That's 10 horror movies that you might not have seen before. Let me know in the comments what you think, and also check out this video, which is 12 vampire movies that you've probably never seen before. Trust me, there is something for everyone in this one, and there is some definite hidden gems. So yeah, go and check this one out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.